Arthur's point of view. Yoongi brought jam for Jimin as he loves jam so much. Jimin was so happy to get jams. Yoongi got to know about his parents' visit. He wasn't happy to see them. Indeed, he loves and respects his parents a lot, but the wound he got by his parents' unreasonable desires haven't healed yet. Jimin was doing his best by pulling him out from his cold and alone aura. Jimin was trying his best to bring him out of his cold and untold shells, even after knowing nothing about his past. Yoongi's personality started changing, but whenever he listens or sees his parents, his wounds turn raw. The deepest wound you got, the longer time it will take to heal. Everyone finished their dinner except Jimin, who was eating in the speed of sloths. His tummy was already filled because of cheese balls. Now he doesn't want to eat more, but Yoongi brought the cane for him and he started eating as fast as he can. Soon he finished his meal and showed his empty plate to Yoongi, but now he can't be able to move. Let's see what happens next. Jimin, I can't move, my tummy is hurting, said dramatically. Yoongi, wait, let me call the doctor. Jimin jumped from the couch. No need to call doctor, I'm fine. Good night. Ran to his room. Yoongi, looking at Jimin, till now he said his tummy is hurting and after hearing doctor's name he started running. This kid is really unpredictable. Shook his head in disbelief. He also went to his room. Time skipped in the morning. Yoongi was preparing the breakfast and Jimin was waiting him in the dining room. Mr. and Mrs. Kim came to dining room. Mr. Min, good morning, Angel. Jimin turned to him. Good morning, Appa. Good morning, Oma. Greeted them with big smile. Mrs. Min sat beside him. You woke up early? I didn't know you have the habit of waking up early in the morning. Jimin, I always wake up early. It's good for health, na? Said proudly. Arthur, liar. If Yoongi didn't wake you up now, then you will sleep till afternoon. Jimin, shh. It's our secret now. Why are you telling to them? Arthur, because you are taking Yoongi's credit. It's wrong. Jimin, I'm not taking his credit. Whatever is his, it's mine too. So in this logic, Yoon's credit is also mine. So now don't disturb me. I'm enjoying my family time. Shoo. Arthur, okay, I'm going. Flew away. Mr. Min, where is Yoongi? Jimin, he is preparing breakfast for us. Mrs. Min, wait, let me help him. Jimin, no need, Oma. He has allergy of taking help. Mr. Min, confused. What? Jimin, nothing, Appa. Oma, don't worry about him. He is expert in cooking. You know he makes delicious dishes for me. Mrs. Min, really? Jimin, yes, Oma. You know he learned cooking by himself. His caretaker didn't give him food, so he cooks for himself. Mr. and Mrs. Min looked at each other's face. They didn't know this. Yoongi never told them anything. They only knew about his caretaker beated him mercilessly and left him there alone in the house. They didn't know how much Yoongi suffered. How did they know what happened with Yoongi when Yoongi didn't tell them anything? Yoongi hid all the pain inside his heart. Jimin shook him little. Oma, you shouldn't hire that cruel caretaker for Yoon. How can someone stray with child? You should kick him off after 1 week, said angrily. Mr. Min, we realized our mistake, son, but trust us, we didn't know about anything. Yoongi never told us anything. We only got the call when he was in hospital. Cut off by Mrs. Min. Mrs. Min shook his head. No. Jimin panicked. Hospital? But why did he admit in hospital? Mr. Min, you don't know? Jimin, no, pa. Mrs. Min, what did Yoongi tell you about his past? Jimin, nothing. He never told me anything about himself. Mr. Min, then how did you know about his caretaker? Jimin, I asked him how did he learn cooking. So he told me that his caretaker didn't give him enough food to eat. So he started cooking for himself. That's how he learned cooking. Mrs. Min, that's it? Jimin, That's it. Now tell me na. Why did he admit in hospital? Mr. Min, because he fainted. Yeah, he fainted because of weakness. Jimin, that's all happened because of that evil caretaker. I will not leave him. Angry as hell. Yoongi entered inside the dining room while holding dishes. Now why did you become an angry bird? And whom don't you leave? Jimin angrily looked at him. Your cruel caretaker, because of whom you were in hospital. Yoongi was shocked to hear this. He was froze at his place. He couldn't understand what to do or not. Mrs. Min, he knows that you were admitted in hospital because you fainted due to weakness. Mr. Min, yeah, and now he became super angry after hearing this. Yoongi didn't say anything, he just put the dish on the table and left from there. Jimin shouts, where are you going? It's breakfast time now. Yoongi shouts back, I'm full. You all have it. Jimin immediately followed him. Mr. Min, feeling guilty, I shouldn't told him anything. Yoongi must be angry. That's why he left from here without having his breakfast. Mrs. Min, it's okay, Chakya. Jimin is with him. He will definitely convince him to have his breakfast. You didn't do anything intentionally. Jimin followed Yoongi and saw he was standing in the balcony and looking outside, so he went near him. Jimin, what are you doing here? Come, let's have breakfast. Yoongi, without looking at him, I don't want to eat anything. I'm already full. Go and have your breakfast. You remember now you have a special lecture today. Jimin didn't say anything and left from there. Yoongi to himself, he left without arguing. Strange, confused. Well, it's good that he left. Within a minute, he came back there with his bag. You all will know later. Why did I use Jimin's bag instead of our cute Jim? There is huge difference between Jimin and Jim. Jimin, come, let's go. I'm ready. Yoongi looked at him. What's this and where are you thinking to go? Jimin, this is my bag and I'm ready to go college for my special lecture. Come now. Yoongi, no, you can't go anywhere. Jimin pretended to not know anything. But why? Yoongi, because you haven't had your breakfast yet. You aren't allowed to go anywhere without having your breakfast. Jimin, why? Who said this? If you are allowed to go without having your breakfast, then why can't I? I can also go. Let's go. Yoongi, don't argue. Go and have your breakfast first. Jimin, when did I argue? I am following your footsteps. Yoongi crossed arm. So you will not listen to me, right? Jimin crossed arm too. I always listen to you, but you have to know one thing that if you have an anger issue, then I also have a stubborn issue. Yoongi looked at Jimin's eyes. He wasn't his kid who always did silly things in front of him. He sparked Jimin, who is enough mature to handle every situation. He knows very well how to convince Yoongi without making him angry. Jim is always behaving silly and bubbly in front of Yoongi, but he couldn't forget he is Jimin who is mature. Jimin also faced many things, not like Yoongi, but still he faced. Yoongi knows this very well that he can't win over Jimin because he was right. Rules are equal for them. He didn't say anything and he started walking towards the dining room. Yoongi, without looking at him, now you will stand there or move. Don't you want to have your breakfast? I know you are hungry. Your little tummy is going to scream at any time. Left. Jimin to himself. Well done, Jimmy. You did it. He is ready to have breakfast. Now let's go. Happily went to dining room. Yoongi entered inside the dining room and saw his parents didn't touch the food. He sat on his chair. Mr. and Mrs. Min noticed him. Mr. Min, sorry son, I didn't want to tell him anything. It just started talking about your caretaker, then it slipped from my tongue. Yoongi, coldly, I don't want to tell him anything. He will be hurt to know about my past. And it's already happened, so there is no use to remember old stuffs. I hope you both understand this and respect my decision. Mrs. Min, we will, son. Please trust on us. We will never tell him anything. Yoongi, coldly. Thank you so much. Mr. Min, where is he? Yoongi, Don't worry, he will be here soon. Took the dishes and about to go. Mrs. Min, now where are you taking the dishes? Yoongi, in the kitchen to reheat them. Mrs. Min took the dishes from his hand. I will do it. You sit here. Left to kitchen. Yoongi shouts, are you coming or planning to stay angry about whole day? Jimin came there with pout. I'm not angry bird. Sat on his chair. By the way, what's in the breakfast? Jimin wins. I will not eat grass. I want to eat something tasty. Mrs. Min entered with dishes. Who will give my Jimin to grass? Jimin big pout. Your son, Oma. He said he prepared grass for me. Tell him to make any tasty dishes. I will not eat grass. I'm not sick. Mrs. Min, he was joking, baby. Nobody gives you grass. See, he made so many tasty dishes for you. Put the dishes on the table. Jimin lightly hit Yoongi's shoulder. You liar. Yoongi, okay, now stop willing and start feeding your little tummy, who is going to glow at any time. Jimin's tummy glowed. Jimin quickly held his tummy tightly and everyone started laughing. Mrs. Min, while munching the food, Yoongi, food is really awesome. Mr. Min, yeah, I don't know my son can cook this much tasty food. Yoongi looked at Jimin. Thanks, Oma and Appa, but what the use of it? It will still a grass. Jimin wins. Stop it now! Don't tease me! I will tell this to Oma 4. Threatened him. Mrs. Min, confused. Oma 4, who is she? Yoongi, while eating his meal, tease mom. When he can't win, he started threatening me by aunt's name. She loves him so much. Mrs. Min smiled. So, you know tease mom too? Mr. Min, that means Achimi is everyone's favorite, Jimin shyly smiled. Mr. Min, we are going to hotel inspection, so we couldn't join you two on lunch. Jimin, we are also going outside. Come, we will drop you. Mr. Min, it's okay, we will take cab. Jimin, no, it's not okay, Appa. When you have car, then why do you want to go by cab? Yoon, tell him now. Yoon, coldly, he is right, Appa. We will drop you. All of them had their breakfast while chatting. Yoongi was silent and Jimin didn't stop talking. Yoongi told them to wait for him near the car and he went to his room to bring some important file. Jimin took Yoongi's car's key from key holder and everyone sat inside the car. Mr. Min, Jimmy, you didn't tie your seat belt. Jimin, I don't know how to tie it, Appa. Mr. Min, let me tie it for you. Jimin, no, Pa, it's fine. You will do it. It's his duty, said proudly. Mrs. Min, shocked. Yoongi tied your seatbelt? Jimin, he always did. You know, Ma, when we met first, he told me that I have to learn how to tie seatbelt. But see, after that day, he always tied my seatbelt without saying anything to me. He was so proud of himself and giving heart attack to Mr. and Mrs. Min. After a few minutes, Yoongi came there and first thing he did, he tied Jimin's seatbelt then his. He drove the car. Now Mr. and Mrs. Min more shocked to see his son's behavior towards Jimin. Arthur, I think Yoongi should take his parents to the hospital because his kid has left no stone unturned to give them heart attack. Please someone save Mr. and Mrs. Kim from Jimin. Time escaped at the college main gate. Yoongi stopped the car and saw Jimin was still talking. He didn't stop, not even for a nanosecond. Yoongi, Mr. Chatterbox, we reached at your college. Now go inside the college, otherwise you will be late. Jimin looked outside. Yoon, why did you drive so fast? I didn't finish my talk. Pout. Yoongi, I didn't drive fast. Your talk will never end. You can continue after the college. Jimin untied his seatbelt and jumped from the car. Okay, bye Oma, bye Appa, bye Yoon. Ran to his class. Mrs. Min, don't jump, you will. But he already left. Yoongi, he already left Oma. I always scold him, but he never listened to me. Mr. Min, he is still a kid. Let him enjoy. Yoongi drove the car towards their hotel. The car driver was silent, like there is no one inside the car. That's the difference between with the Jimin and without the Jimin. He stopped the car near the entrance. Yoongi, Oma, Appa, I wanna say something. Mrs. Min, yes son, tell us what do you wanna say. You don't need to think before talking to us. Mr. Min, your Oma is right. Yoongi, Yoongi secretly talked with his parents. After that he went to his university. Time skipped at departure time. Jimin was as usual waiting for Yoongi near the main gate. Suddenly one car stopped near him. Let's see who is he. Mr. Min, Jimmy, come inside. Jimin went near him. Appa, you! And whose car is this? Mr. Min, it's our company's car. Come inside fast. Jimin, but Yoon is coming to pick me. He will be worried if he couldn't find me. Mr. Min, don't worry, I already informed him that I will pick you. Jimin, that's great. He came inside the car and sat on passenger seat. Mr. Min tied his seat belt. Jimin, Appa. Mr. Min, while driving, Jimin, where is Oma? Mr. Min, she is waiting for us at some place. Jimin, confused, at some place? Which place, Appa? Are we going somewhere else? Mr. Min smiled. Yes, we are going somewhere else. That is a surprise for you. By the way, what are you doing in your mobile? Jimin, I messaged Yoon that I am with you, Mr. Min, so you don't have trust on me. Jimin kept his mobile in his pocket. No, Appa, it's not like this. Yoon always worried for me, so I always informed him about my location. Mr. Min, oh, okay, that's good thing. Jimin, Appa, tell me now, where are we going? Mr. Min, yes, Jimmy, I have a surprise for you. Jimin, what surprise, Appa? Mr. Min, if I tell you now, then what will be surprise? Just wait for few more minutes, then you will be see by yourself. Jimin, okay, sad pout. Mr. Min, Ash, don't be sad, Jimmy. You will be happy to see your surprise. Jimin, okay, Appa. Time skipped after 15 minutes. Mr. Min drove the car towards the one of the hotel. He stopped the car at the entrance. Mr. Min, we reached at our destination, Jimmy. Jimin excitedly untied his seatbelt and jumped out of the car. Wow! Mouth wide open. Mr. Min smiled. Let's go inside. Mr. Min gave his car's key to doorman to park the car and followed Jimin. Mr. Min was busy in talking with hotel staff and Jimin went inside. He was mesmerized to see the beauty of the hotel. He is from middle class family now, so he never went in any 5 or 7-star hotel ever in his life. He only heard about them from Cook and other classmates but didn't see by himself. He wasn't looking at people, he was only focusing on hotel's interior. It's so big and luxurious. He didn't notice that Mr. Min wasn't with him. He was walking forward while looking upwards. He reached a dining area which was filled with lots of people, but did our Jim notice? Answer is big no. He was too busy in admiring the hotel's interior. Suddenly his eyes fell on the chandelier. It was so huge and beautiful. He never saw this type of chandelier in his life, not even in his books. It glowed so beautifully. He couldn't control on himself and started screaming loudly. Jimin screamed, Wow! Chandelier! It's so huge and beautiful! Everyone started looking at him with weird face. You know, in high-class society, shouting and screaming considered as bad things. But in middle class, we can't do anything without shouting. Manager came to him and said, Manager, who are you and how did you enter here? Finally, Jimin noticed him and other people. He directly came here from his college, so he has his college bag too. Jimin, I'm Jimin and I came here through the door. Arthur face palmed. Wow, what an answer. I thought people come through the window. Thanks for this precious knowledge. Manager, with whom you come here? Jimin, I came with. Waiter, cut off him. Just look at his clothes. He looks so cheap. He must be here by fooling the doorman. Manager, yeah, you are right. Hey kid, just get out of from here. This isn't the place of people like you. This hotel is only for high class people, not for poor people like you. You can't afford here's water. Just go from here. You can't deserve to stand here. It will ruin our hotel's image. Jimin was hurt to listen their hurtful words for him. He didn't come here by his will. He looked down. His cheerful face turned so small. Everyone started laughing at him. Now he was very, very embarrassed. Sharp, scary voice. He can afford thousands of hotels like this, and millions of people like you worked under him. Do you know who is he? To be continued. Questions. How's the episode? What did Yoongi say to his parents? Who is the person who supported Jimin? Author's note. That's it for today. I hope you all like it. Do you think Min Yoongi can ever win over Min Jimin? What will happen when Yoongi get to know about this? In the next episode, you will see how that person tells everyone about Jimin's real identity. Many more things is coming. Let's see what will gonna happen in next episode. Till then, take care of yourself. Love you all. If you like this story, then please do like, subscribe, share and comment. I assure you that you will never gonna regret on your decision. Thanks for watching.